Hello and welcome to English 2333, Survey of World Literature from the 17th century to present. My name is Libby Bennett and I will be your instructor. So today is the first day of class. Actually, I'm sending this a little bit early. So I wanted to go over an abbreviated review of the course syllabus and introduce you to the online classroom. Who is the professor? As I said, my name is Libby Bennett. I have my Bachelor of Science in Professional Writing and my Master of Arts in English. Specializing mostly in Gothic and Romantic literature. So this is me. What's the best way to reach me? This is pretty important in an online class. The best way to reach me is through the D2L classroom. You can also email me at my main Lone Star email address, which you see on your screen. But sometimes student emails, unless they're coming from your Lone Star account and not like going through your other accounts, they get lost in a spam, and I only am able to access the spam when Lone Star sends me a link. So it's much better to email me within the D2L classroom. Now, having said that, make sure that you change the subject line of the email, and I'll go into more detail about that when we get into D2L a little bit later. I respond to emails within 24 to 48 hours. With the exception of weekends. I typically try to take Saturdays and Sundays off, or there'll be times I might be out, different events, and I'll say I won't be answering or checking emails today. I'll check them tomorrow or something like that. I always post that information in the announcements, and we'll go over that again when we get into D2L. So we're going to start with a course overview, go over attendance and participation, the discussion boards, quizzes and assignments, the essays, late work, the textbooks, the grade determination and letter grade assignment, as well as a tentative instructional outline. So this course is a survey of world literature from mid-17th century to present. Students will study works of prose, poetry, drama, and fiction in relation to their historical, linguistic, and cultural contexts. Texts will be selected from a diverse group of authors and traditions. The outcomes. Now, this is what I expect and Lone Star expects, and every university in Texas expects you to get out of this course so that the course transfers. You must be able to identify key ideas, representative authors and works, significant historical or cultural events, and characteristic perspectives or attitudes expressed in the literature of different periods or regions. Analyze literary works as expressions of individual or communal values within the social, political, cultural, or religious context of different literary periods. Demonstrate knowledge of the development of characteristic forms or styles of expression during different historical periods or in different regions. Articulate the aesthetic principles that guide the scope and variety of works in the arts and humanities, and write research-based critical papers about the assigned readings in clear and grammatically correct prose, using various critical approaches to literature. So, this is the specifics for my class. I don't take attendance in an online class. You either do the work or you don't. You should be prepared to sign into class at least 4 days a week. I have the entire term up so you're able to work ahead if you know that you're going to be out of town or having to do this remotely, you can work ahead. You should complete all assignments prior to their due date and time so that you stay current with the class. And you must sign into our class in D2L and complete the Tell Me About Yourself discussion board by July 15th, or I will drop you from the class. Discussion boards. There's a total of 4 discussion boards in the class, and these assignments cannot be made up. Quotes and research or outside preparation may be required in every assignment. Your initial post, which is a response to my prompt, must be a minimum of 250 words, and your response post to at least 2 classmates must be at least 125 words each. Discussion boards are worth 30% of your final grade. Quizzes and assignments. There are multiple choice comprehension quizzes and short answer quizzes that you must complete throughout the course. There's a total of 18 quizzes and assignments over the class, and these assignments and quizzes are worth 50% of your final grade. Essays. You will write 2 essays in this course. One is due at the end of week 3 and one at the end of week 5. And you have a choice of several topics, but I've given you some options. You can choose your own topic, but you'll need to email me for approval of your thesis first. These essays are 500 to 750 words, no more, no less. I take points off if they're too short or too long, even by 1 word. Essays are worth 20% of your final grade. All papers must be in MLA 8th edition format. Late work. I do not allow late work or offer makeup exams. If you miss an assignment, it's just a 0. There's simply not enough time for allowing late work in accelerated classes. If you know of a conflict ahead of time, you can complete the assignments early, as every assignment and quiz and paper topic and discussion board is open in the class on day 1. The textbook. You actually have 3 textbooks, and we're using the Norton Anthology of World Literature, volumes D, E, and F. I've included the ISBN if you want to order it online. You can get it at the campus bookstore, or you can go to Half Price Books and buy them individually. Any way is fine. Now you might think I can find the readings online. However, there are quizzes over the time periods and the literary movements that come directly from Norton, which comes directly from your reading. So you do need to get the books. And there's a sprinkling of readings from each book that we'll do. So, and then you can always sell them back to Amazon or to Half Price Books. Grammar and mechanics. This is an English class, so everything you write in here must be written in complete sentences. You must use proper grammar, punctuation, spelling, and mechanics. There's a plethora of style guides online. You can actually buy the MLA handbook. I don't know who does that anymore, but the best place to go for updated information is Purdue OWL. That's Purdue, Purdue, as in the university, OWL as an online writing lab. And you can find everything about MLA there. So I've mentioned briefly what each part of the course is worth as far as your grade, but here's a quick list. Discussion boards 30%, quizzes and assignments 50%, essays 20%. And letter grade assignment. We use a 4.0 scale, so 90 to 100 is an A, 80 to 89 is a B, 70 to 79 is a C, 60 to 69 is a D, below 59 is an F. Okay, you will need at least a C to transfer this course to a university. The withdrawal policy. Okay, if you need to withdraw from this class for any reason, you have until August 6th to do so. Now let's talk a little bit about withdrawals versus Fs. Some of the advisors at Lone Star have given erroneous information. They say it's better to just fail it because whatever school you transfer it to will take the higher of the grade. So for example, if you just don't feel like finishing this class or you can't for whatever reason and you get an F and you say, well, I'm going to retake it in the fall, and you do really well and you get an A, the college that accepts this course will take your A and your F, average them together, and that's the grade that they will give you. So it is better to withdraw than to just fail a class, okay? And if you're not sure if that's how your university handles it, you need to contact them because it is up to them how they accept the grades. So having said that, we do have a 6-drop rule here in Texas for first-time college students, and so it does affect your funding. So if there is any chance that this is not going to work for you because you have too much going on and you're not sure how you're going to squeeze it in, I suggest dropping it before July 15th, because once July 15th comes, it would be a W. And please do not risk the Fs. They're honestly not worth it. Your employers can request your transcripts. It's part of public records, getting into graduate school and things like that, which you may not care about now, but you might care about in the future. Okay, so I'll show you where the syllabus is in the course in just a minute. I have an outline here of what we're doing, and I have it broken down by week, and I have what we're doing and its due date. These correspond with the due dates in D2L. If you see a discrepancy, even though I've really tried to make sure they're perfect, I always go by the latest date. I'm human. I make mistakes sometimes. So if it says due on the 28th, and D2L says the 29th, I'm going to go by what D2L says, okay? Now, having said that, everything is due at 11:58 on the day that it's due. You stop having access at 11:59. So you're going to have to do your homework before 11:58 at night. And I'm not going to reopen things. Just, you know now, you can set up the next 6 weeks for success. You'll notice here I have discussions listed. So this one says Tuesday discussion board, July 16th through 17th. That means that your initial response to my prompt is due on the 16th, and your 2 responses are due between the 16th and 17th. Okay, that discussion board will close on the 17th at 11:58. I've also listed up here where to find the essays. Okay, so you see in week 1, I've told you where to find essay 1, which is in week 3. I've repeated that information in week 2, and then the essay is due week 3. Okay, the same thing for essay 2 options, which are due in week 5. I've written it in week 4, and then I've written it again in week 5 when it's due. You'll notice there is no final exam in this class. And so yes, there is no final exam. We are just going to be working throughout the term, and you do need to finish all of the assignments because they do all count towards your grade. So let's take a moment and go into the D2L classroom. So this is your D2L landing page. You can see you get to D2L by saying d2l.lonestar.edu. You could also get through it from My Lone Star. Here is a welcome announcement. It shows you the books. Here you will see all the announcements that I give every week, grading announcements, if I'm not going to be in class that day, whatever. So right now you just see the one. Over here you have a calendar of events, and it's got everything with a due date, and it shows you the entire term. I think it's easier to look at it on the syllabus that I have just gone over, but let's go ahead and go into content and look at that. Everything you need for this class is available in content. So if you look over here at overview, this is where your course syllabus is. So this is everything. So it's the stuff I went over in the video, plus all of the extra stuff that Lone Star asked me to keep in here. Where the writing lab is, how to get in touch with counseling, statement on academic integrity. The very last page is the chart I showed you of due dates. All right, so then you come over and you see I have listed everything by weeks 1 through 6. Ignore the syllabus and course material because that won't be available when you see this video. So you go into week 1. Week 1 is short. It's the 11th to the 14th, but because it's summer school, we've got to get through it. This is your first discussion board. This one is not graded, but this will determine whether or not you are able to stay registered in the course. So make sure that you take advantage of it. And then every week I start off with a welcome to week whatever. Sometimes there's videos included, sometimes there's reading, sometimes there's both. But this will actually tell you what all you need to get accomplished and where to find it for week 1, all 3 days of it. So if you go back to week 1, scroll down. This is an overview of the period. This is a quiz over the introduction, which will include what you've read in the textbook. So you need the textbook immediately. And then you have your first assignment. And the assignment is here. So it can be 350 words to 500 words. No more, no less. There's point deductions if it's 1 word too few or 1 word too many. So we're working very closely on getting our concise writing done. So this is where you'll find the prompt. You'll notice you do not see essay 1 in here because I told you in the syllabus that essay 1 can be found in week 3, okay, where it's actually due. So each week is set up like this. So let's talk about email. This is very important and it's something that drives me absolutely bananas. Okay, let's go ahead and compose one. This subject tells me nothing. It tells me that you are my English 2333 class. Well, this is the only class I'm teaching in summer 2, so I already know that, okay? You need to change this subject line to something that has to do with what you're writing about. For example, I'm confused on the Atsumori assignment. The reason it's so important for you to change this subject line is sometimes I sign into D2L and I have like 5 or 10 minutes. And I know that I won't be getting back to it until later that night. So if it's an assignment that's due and I have 5 minutes, if this says I need help on the Atsumori assignment, then I know, hey, that's top priority. I got 5 minutes, let's help this student. If it doesn't, if it simply just says English 2333, it's going to get relegated to the bottom of the pile. And so that response may not come till, 11:32 at night, which is not going to be terribly helpful if the assignment is due at 11:58. This is something that you should do on every email you send, not just in this class. This is literally a life skill. Help me help you. Okay, so that gives you an overview of D2L. I will also post weekly videos that give you an overview of what's coming that week, and those are released at the beginning of the week. Please let me know if you have any questions. Bye.